So the Lixada compared to my Toaks. I was really hoping for a cheap knockoff stainless steel version of the titanium Toaks for 12 bucks. I was really hoping it would be great, but they screwed up one measurement and it makes it horrible. So let me just show you with the Toaks what I'm talking about. The Toaks is really tight fitting there, and also when you go to drop it in here, you can see it is really tight fitting here, and that makes it very stable and it burns real well. I really like the Toaks. I was just hoping to get a bigger version of the stove for 12 bucks, but what I found was this. These two pieces are right, so they got that measurement right. That's a nice tight fit. But when you drop it in here, somebody measured this horribly wrong, and it has got a huge gap. So because of that huge gap, this top piece just wiggles and jiggles and creates air leaks, and it's just a big giant mess. So there are a couple fixes for it. Yeah, that's just horrible. That's a mess. So really that just needs to be tight fitting. And they measured the wrong diameter. They must have measured at the factory when they were doing the cutting. They must have measured this outer lip measurement instead of the inner, because this is like, this would be a nice tight fit. So they got that measurement instead of the inner, which just drops right on through. So that's horribly made. But there's a couple fixes for that. I think the easiest fix would be getting one of these big soup cans, which I found this fits perfectly inside, nests nice and snug. Big soup can, you just cut the center to the same, to the smaller diameter of this, and it would just drop right down in and hold everything together nice and tight. You just cut one can lid off and cut big holes along the bottom to mimic this, basically making a new one of these with a smaller diameter hole. But the only problem with that being you would have these three pieces, and this would nest within this one, but this one doesn't nest within that one. It's just, you would have, it wouldn't compact well for portability. You'd lose all your portability. So another option is to use one of these side cutters. This is my attempt at fixing this will be to use a side cutter lid. What I did was, let's get this in focus. Since this nests so well inside that lip, I'm going to use this lid, which I've cut off with a side cutter. I'm going to attach it to this so that this will set on perfectly. And I found up to this inner lip is where I need to cut, but I cut to a smaller one. I'm going to fold these over so that they pinch this lip and hold it all in place. So let me pause this and try that and see where we come to. I'd better mention real quick that I used a Dremel tool to cut out, let's see here, this ring. I feel like that was flipped upside down or something, and I cut one edge around, and then I took a pair of EMT scissors and I just snipped to the outer ring where it needs to go to be the right size. Now I'm going to use a pair of needle nose pliers and kind of bend those up underneath, and maybe a stick or something to poke them in from the inside. As I fold them over that edge, and it should hold onto that lip, and I won't have to worry about welding or pop riveting or anything crazy. This should work. Let's give it a whirl. Alright, so it's coming along nicely. It's making a little lip. I'm using the round part of the needle nose pliers to just bend it in. Underneath, it isn't mushed down flat yet, but what I'm going to do now is use this to hold it in place so I don't deform the edge, and flip it over and then use a piece of wood or something to mash down those little tabs, which are grabbing the edge just enough. Should work great. Oh, still got to try to shove the inner can in. I better do that first. Okay, so success. I now have a lipped can lid thing. This is, oh, I'll show you this first. They all folded over just perfectly. And I just kept going around the edge. Make sure you're kind of left-handed because I'm holding the phone with my right. Shh, Leah, be quiet, please. But I just kept going around until it flattened out. And I kept testing this. And this is now a nice tight fit. Nice tight fit now. Yes, Leah, we hear you. Can't pull it out with one hand, which is a good thing. And it's also well attached, like it's not gonna fall out or get lost. But that's now snug, basically part of it.
Oh no!
Yes, Leah, you dropped something, and then that will now fit nice and snug in there perfectly. It's actually pretty stable just by itself, but putting the three pieces together, is now super snug, the way it's supposed to be. Yay! Problem solved. Lixada, why couldn't you get your measurement right? And also, this seems a little higher than my Toaks. The Toaks, the bottom there is really close to the ground. This lets in tons of air underneath, so that's not an issue. And this is also the Toaks small stove. The Toaks large stove is the same sort of size as the Lixada. So the Toaks small stove fits in a 750 milliliter cup. It works great. I just was looking for a bigger one, and now it's fixed. So I hope that helps somebody else out there who has bought one of these $12 things and is cursing themselves. All right, good luck out there. Leave me comments.